And we know that the safety mission hinges on what happens in the next few hours and, of course, overnight. Crews right now, they're bringing in all sorts of experts to try and find a solution.
Joining us live right now is Dr. Elaine Bernal. She's an expert in chemistry and biochemistry at Cal State Long Beach. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We know a lot of this depends on the tank's temperature staying cool, 90 degrees or cooler. Does it depend on anything else?
It also depends on the rate at which the temperatures are changing, whether it's increasing or decreasing, so heating or cooling. That is also something to pay attention to.
And since you understand this from a scientific aspect, when we hear firefighters or officials talk about thinking outside of the box and not just letting it spill or explode, what might they be thinking of here? What is a possible solution?
They could also be looking at the structure of the tank, the material that the tank is made of, to properly assess what the conditions are of the MMA in that tank. They could also be looking at remote sensing to make sure that the temperatures are accurate and that it's timely sensing. So that way they can respond by either pulling responders back or putting them back into duty.
Firefighters talking about the temperature being 90 degrees and then something called thermal runaway after that. In simple terms, what is that? And once it gets started, can it be stopped?
Once it gets started, thermal runaway can be slowed down. So what's happening is that there is a chain reaction with the MMA, the methyl methacrylate polymer. It's typically stored as a liquid monomer. So think of chains in a link. So the chains are increasing, the link is growing, and then those chains come together. And then once that polymerizes, once that reaction happens, there's heat that is a product of that reaction. So the idea is to be able to slow that reaction down, therefore stabilizing the temperature, even as it's increasing.
Is there anything you can do to bring the temperature down anymore? Is it only liquid, or will it freeze, or can it take on some other consistency?
It can solidify. So as the temperature, as the reaction is going, the MMA is actually solidifying. So again, it starts as a liquid. As the reaction happens and as the polymerization, so that chain reaction happens, the MMA is solidifying. So it's actually shrinking in volume, so taking less space in the tank, so therefore could be a stabilizing factor as the situation is being monitored.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. There's a lot of news going on here today, and we certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Be safe, all.
Take care.